Hello, good morning students of class 11. We had discussed about two laws for addition of vector, one which you called as triangular law of addition and another one was parallelogram of addition. For this, we had even discussed the proof that how we had finded out the resultant for these two types of vector addition law. Today we are going to do the last and the final law, that is your law of polygon law of addition of vectors. The resultant vector of more than two vectors is represented by the vector which is drawn to complete the polygon respectively by the vectors to be added. Okay. Suppose we are having four vectors, vector A, vector B, vector C and vector D. Now to get this resultant of all the four vector, what we are going to do? Vector A added with vector B, then to vector C, then to vector D. So the final part of that polygon, final side of the polygon will represent the vector of the resultant vector. Even it can be finded out with triangular law. Suppose we are having vector A and vector B. So we can get the resultant by the triangular law, that is the third side of the vector. Now this R1 is added with vector C. Hence you will get the second resultant as R2. Then R2 added with vector D. You will get the final resultant. So this can be also one of the method that if you are adding two or more than two vectors, so you can either use polygon law, that is the last side of that polygon will represent the vector addition of all the vectors, and either you can use it by triangular law of addition. So we are starting with the properties of vector addition. The first property is obey the commutative law. Commutative law means vector A plus vector B is equals to vector B plus vector A. In this condition, we are taking commutative law deals with only two quantities. So right now to prove this, we are starting with, suppose I am having a vector A and vector B. I am creating a polygon or a parallelogram out of it, in which the opposite side will represent vector A, the opposite side of vector B will represent vector B, and the diagonal will represent the resultant. So hence what you are getting, OPQS is a parallelogram. I am taking a triangle of OPQ. OPQ. In this, when you find the triangular law, vector OP plus vector PQ is equals to vector QS OQ, then you will get vector A plus vector B is equals to vector OQ. But hence it is a parallelogram, that is OPQS. Vector OP is equals to vector SQ, which is equals to vector A, and vector PQ is equals to vector OS, which is equals to vector B. Hence, therefore, triangle OSQ by the triangular law, vector OS plus vector SQ is equals to vector OQ. That means vector B plus vector A is equals to vector OQ. If you just take the values of vector equation 1 and equation 2, you will get vector A plus vector B is equals to vector B plus vector A. So this is one of the part of your commutative law. Now we are dealing with that addition of vector obey the associative law. Associative law deals with three vectors, vector A plus B, vector B plus vector C is equals to vector A plus vector B plus vector C. These are the some laws which you might have learned, might means surely you might have learned that in your smaller classes of class 5th, 6th, that is what is associative law and what is commutative law. Now it is being applicable on our vector concept. Now suppose we are having three vectors, vector A, vector B and vector C. So vector A, vector B, vector C when added, the third or the fourth side of this parallelogram will represent the resultant of all the three vectors. In this again we are considering the triangle, and that triangle is represented by P, Q, R and S. Right now I am taking a triangle PQR. That means vector PR is equals to vector PQ plus vector QR, which is vector A plus vector B. Now I am taking another triangle PRS, in which vector PS is equals to vector PR plus vector PRS. That means vector A plus vector B plus vector C. Let it be equation number 1. Now the same way we are taking another triangle QRS. That means vector QS is equals to vector QR plus vector RS, which is equals to vector B plus vector C. But in your equation triangle PQS, vector PS is equals to vector PQ plus vector QS is equals to A plus vector B plus vector C. Now considering both the equation, you will get the associative law, that is vector A plus vector B plus vector C is equals to vector A plus vector B plus C. So this is a general concept and that deals with the three laws. Okay. Particularly this chapter deals with the addition and subtraction of the vectors, but in your further portion of this lesson we are going to do the multiplication of the vectors also.